Hello and welcome to the Striding Edge Games podcast thing, video podcasty thing, where we go through army lists that exist in Middle-earth strategy battle game. And this week, episode, we're talking about Isengard. So we're talking about Isengard, and in our series, we're focusing on army lists rather than a faction, because the factions are big and nebulous now with the edition change. It's been almost a year. We probably have to stop saying edition change, but hey. So we focus instead on a singular list that sort of epitomizes the faction in general. And this week, we're doing the Muster of Isengard. Jules, what are the thematics behind the Muster of Isengard?
I think we chose the Muster because this is probably like the most like mainstream Isengard that you see. It is Isengard Unleashed. It is the scene of, a new power is rising. There will be no dawn of men.
My lord, there is no such army.
Exactly. That is the Muster of Isengard. It is the Uruk-Hai as they march out of Isengard, and in this one, Saruman follows them, I guess.
It's Saruman decides to go with the 10,000 Uruk-Hai from Isengard, rather than camp in Orthanc. I suppose, that's why it's this one rather than any of the other particular lists. So the others are sort of a bit more niche, like the Walls of Isengard or the couple of Scouts lists, or what's the other main sort of
the assault
hand.
The assault on a Helm's Deep also.
That's particularly siege focused, and then Army of the White Hand is sort of a nebulous one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Muster of Isengard is kind of like almost the most sort of general. To me, though it is a kind of, most of the lists in the game are scenes in the movie where you see something. This is almost like a what if list, because what if Saruman marched out with the Uruk-Hai and they fought Rohan in an open battle, not a siege?
Yeah,
they've got all of this, right?
I suppose it's what would happen if Isengard or Rohan did choose to fight rather than going to Helm's Deep. In the books and the movies, some of Theoden's people, and I think Theoden himself, are like, well, maybe we should head out and fight them on the fields because that's where we're good. And then it turns out actually there's not many people, and there's a lot more Uruk-Hai than we thought. So let's get back to Helm's Deep. So maybe this is a sort of what if the Fords of Isen went hot and both sides sent their entire army out to the plains of Rohan to duke it out. And so that's where you get this list.
Yeah, and then, I mean, on the tabletop, it's probably about as elite an army you can find on the evil side.
Probably only Gundabad equal it.
Not even sort of. And I suppose Easterlings, if you have the Dragon Emperor and you have a ton of Black Dragon Warriors. But,
True, yeah.
The armored Uruk-Hai are kind of almost the tippy top of evil. Unless you're looking at sort of some quite niche things like, hey, just Ringwraiths or...
Warriors. The tippy top of warrior profiles, I would say. I'd also say thematically, I think I've got to hand it to them as the coolest evil army. There's some niche ones where maybe like all the Ringwraiths or the dragons of the north, which are pretty cool because it's a couple dragons or something. But like as a bread and butter standard army list with some captains, a couple of named heroes, and a lot of warriors and warbands. For the evil side, I think this is probably just the coolest. It's not a badge with sort of with any validity.
There will be no dawn for men.
Right. Yeah. Pros. Take us through the pros of this army list, Jules.
I mean, I think the first big pro is the main one here is that you have the whole army is centered around Saruman the White. He is up there as one of the best casters in the game. He's got a good selection of spells. He's got good range on the spells, and he has some nice little boosts to casting.
Yeah, I think we'll get onto him his rules specifically, but he has changed a little bit. But I would agree he probably was before tied with the Witch King, and now the Witch King, the Crown of Morgul's also changed how it works. So he's less of a uber caster and more of a utility caster. Is my very basic analysis of that. So, yeah, rankings wise, maybe we'll do a rankings show where we just rank people in those funny S tier lists things.
But yeah, so I mean, it's up for debate.
Top
but he's definitely one of the best casters in the game. And to accompany him, you only have basic captains, but they get some really good boosts in this list, and Uruk-Hai Captains are already really good. Then you have 3 of the best warriors on the evil side. I mean, the Berserkers, the Armored Uruk-Hai, and the Uruk-Hai Scouts are all really decent for an evil orc. They're also very tough for the most part. They have good armor and are hard to break. And I think I put it as a pro. It's also, I mean, all of your opponents will hate you, but you have Wormtongue.
Yeah. I think I'll just leave that noise as my review of Wormtongue. But yeah, he's a part of the game, so we'll get on to him later. Yeah, I think that's a really solid list of pros. I think one thing I always try and keep a lens of like collectability and playability on this, not just like pure list. And buying like 1 or 2 boxes of Armored Uruk-Hai and just painting them all, they're real easy to paint, will give you a really strong backbone for a whole bunch of lists, basically all the Isengard lists that aren't specialist non-armored people. So I think that's a really good appealing thing. It's not like buying Druidan Warriors and they appear.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe that's like a sort of meta pro. And it's also worth saying that there is a battle host for this army, and it is ludicrously good value compared to literally any other battle host.
Yes. Yeah, it's really. I can tell. Yeah, we'll talk about it later again, but I can kind of see what the calculations are in their head of like putting warrior boxes into a box, but it works out best for Isengard. So, take us on to the cons. What are the cons of this army list, if there are any?
So for a con, we've got Saruman here, who is upset because he sent all of his Uruk-Hai away, and the Ents have turned up. Whoops.
Yeah. I like that. I like that picture. For those listening along, all 4 of you, I apologize. Go back and watch the YouTube version, but the pictures are quite funny. As a meta thing, we've been very busy in our behind the camera, so I'm going into this cold, so I have no idea what Julian's prepared, which is why I'm sort of giggling to myself. Sorry, carry on.
I mean, so there are definitely cons to this army. Some of them are just to do with the kind of the lockdownness of the list. It's an infantry only army.
Sure.
You can give Saruman a horse, but he's not going to be making a cavalry charge really. But in terms of kind of the cons of what you do have, everything in this army is expensive. Saruman is extremely expensive. I mean, he's a wizard.
I mean, he's wizard's cost.
And he is also mandatory in this list, which is kind of a bummer, especially if you want to take it at like a low points cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically can't run this list.
Yeah.
Well, you probably could do it at 250, but it would be pretty minimal.
Yeah, it'd be pretty rubbish. I could see maybe 450, 500, it would be workable, but you'd be quite bare bones still. And I suppose things like we were looking at Minas Tirith the other week, and that is quite open. It gives you the army bonuses for like Denethor and Faramir, but you don't have to take them. You could just take a plain captains only list and take a really small or whatever you wanted list. So yeah, I guess that's a slight con, although, oh dear, you have to take one of the best.
And I think it's also worth, I mean, the army special rules actually don't do anything for Saruman in this list. In the Army of the White Hand, they are
a good point
for him, like he gets extra bonuses. In this, they boost your Uruk-Hai, which is what it should be, because it is the Isengard Unleashed. But it's interesting that you have to take Saruman, but he's just his own stat line, and his own stat line has to speak for itself, essentially. And then, I mean,
Sure.
the other thing, so you do have a really wide selection of warriors, but you have quite a lockdown selection of heroes on the flip side. You do have two very good basic heroes, the Uruk-Hai Captain and the Scout Captain, who must never be slept on, because a strength 5 model with
Yeah.
a two-handed weapon can do some serious work when he wants to.
For sure. We've the first event we ever went to, which was last edition, Uruk-Hai Scout Captain took out. I think he got the kill on a Mumak because he two-handed for strength 5. It's pretty great.
Oh, Mayfall.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Sparking.
It's all right. I can't actually hear it.
Okay.
The noise cancellation's probably working, but
Yeah,
we'll pause.
Shouldn't sleep on the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain. He has a two-handed weapon and strength 5, which is really good.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on, and he's not that expensive, is he?
No, he's not too bad. I realise I don't have a slide for. I was talking about the Army Special Rules, but let's go back to pros.
Oh well,
for those.
Army Special Rules. Then take us through. It's got 3.
There are
rules
3
for the list,
and it's an interesting one. So the first rule is you do not know pain, you do not know fear, and it is the classic Isengard from the last edition special rule, where it means that your breakpoint is at 66%, not 50%. This is
sure.
Yeah,
Classic
this is found in
Isengard.
several Isengard lists already. It's a really strong ability. The fact that you won't break, and also because you have Saruman in the list, if he's not dead, he's probably going to keep your stuff on the table. But I do always think it's something that you kind of need to be quite aware of, because once you break, it's not very far from breaking to quartering.
Yes. Yeah, I had this at the Warhammer World event we went to most recently, and I played against Uruk-Hai Scouts, and the game ended on quartering, but they don't break till 66%, and just luck of the dice, it was going really well my way, and I think my opponent hit broken at the start of the turn, and with the break checks, a lot of the Uruks just ran, and then with the ones I then managed to like quadruple encircle and kill, it just immediately went to quartered at the end of that same turn. So it was all within one turn. The end of whatever turn it was, oh, he's not broken yet, or we're sort of dealing okay. And then the next turn was broken, quartered, and the game's over. Obviously, it doesn't make a difference for games that don't end on quartered, but for games that do, which is I think about
and I mean,
it's quite.
I actually like it
something
because it's quite thematic. Because if you think when they assault Helm's Deep, the Uruk-Hai are like rah rah rah, they're ready to go, and they take like crazy casualties, but they're still real good. And then suddenly they just kind of snap and break. And I think this rule is thematic of that.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But it's also super useful because you have those games where you're sort of losing, you're trading equally, and you break about the same time, and that can be quite significant. And especially now, there's a lot more scenarios where you gain points, but it's often 1 point if you break your opponent and are broken, but 3 points if you break your opponent but unbroken. And I think that would actually kick in a lot, where you're trading about equal casualties, but you're not broken because you've hit 6.
And I mean,
6%.
Because it's an army which is heavily armored, and you have spears, pikes in this instance. It is an army that wants to grind, and a grindy army that doesn't break till 66%. Is a strong capability. But yeah,
for sure.
So that's the first one, it has always been strong. It was strong in the last edition. It is strong now, but you get extra special rules as well. The second rule you have is Isengard Unleashed, which is actually a chapter title, I believe. It's certainly a scene title in the movie. But in the first turn of the game, each friendly Uruk-Hai hero, which you could have quite a few of in a large points game, can declare a heroic march for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, all Uruk-Hai captains gain heroic strike. Sadly, as written, I think this has no effect on scout captains because they are not Uruk-Hai captains; they are Uruk-Hai scout captains.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's a bit like the Moria goblins and
Yeah.
Moria black shields.
Are they?
And some of the rules affect Moria goblins. Yeah. But yes, even if you're going Uruk-Hai, armored Uruk-Hai en masse, this is fantastic. I think this is one of the lists where the first time we sat down with the new army books and went through them quickly, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and I mean it's on a model that's already fight 5, so Uruk-Hai captains can actually
yes,
really threaten some of the major heroes in the game.
They get to fight 8.
They could go to
like
8
with a good roll.
Obvious,
which is bonkers. And yeah, if you went captain spam, took like 3 or 4, 5 captains in a large game, a strength 5 hero with the ability to strike to fight 8 is difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
very,
I
very
almost
impressive.
wonder whether you could actually run this list as like an all hero list, and just have Uruk-Hai captains. They're all just like mini bombs just running around, strength 5, potentially fight 8.
Yeah, it would be nice if it was the scout captain.
Maybe it'll get FAQ'd. Cool.
Yeah, maybe, or it's as is. But yeah, I think that's wild because second half of the game, if your opponent's captains have burnt all their might, or even big heroes, not Aragorn, but like Boromir, if he's burnt all his might, an Uruk-Hai's captain could just walk up to him and go like, I've got a 1/3 chance of beating you on fight value.
Yeah.
Which,
and I mean,
sort of thematic.
They might only have 2 might, but because they get that free heroic march on the first turn, it means that you can still get the mobility of the march.
Yeah.
And then carry on doing stuff. So yeah.
I slept on I jumped straight to the strike, but actually march is huge because if you can throw that big pike block up the board early on, especially as you were saying, it's a grindy army. If you're playing like whole ground with one central objective and you can get your giant pike block on the objective before anyone else, you're not getting knocked off all game. It's fantastic.
Finally, it's a classic. There will be no dawn for men. It gives you Hatred Man on your Uruk-Hai. It's great,
sure.
Yeah. Hatred obviously is a really good rule when it comes up, and is actually kind of unbalancing in some ways. But it's also conditional. I mean, at least this one is man. Considering some of the good lists get like Hatred Mordor or something, but like man is quite a broad category.
Yeah, there's a lot of man factions. I mean, we've said it before, same with like Army of Gothmog. I'm not a fan. I understand the thematic matchups giving bonuses against specific other lists, but when being used outside of narrative play, it just and I think it's a win more. Like if you come up against a man list, you're just like, amazing, this is gonna be great. And if you come up against an elf list, you're like, oh well. Yeah,
it is funny to me that the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain that's strength 5 with a 2-hander, he can. That I don't think there's any human other than a Ministerial Captain that is defense 8, which means that he'll wound everyone on the very least of 3 up, and most people on a 2 up.
True. Yeah, that's very funny.
That's great.
That is a bit wild.
But yeah, from that, I think we can just move straight into our profiles.
Yeah, let's break down what profiles you have in this list. So, well, to start with, I suppose the mandatory one, Saruman, you have to take him. He is a hero of legend, which is useful. How is he in this?
So yeah, as we said, he's 170 points, which is actually a decrease from the last edition. I think he's gone down by 10 points. But the horse is 10 points more. I'm not
Yeah, but I think that's a win in this edition. Like everything's gone up. Most people have either stayed the same or increased points, and then their horse has got more expensive. So actually coming out with a horse the same as last edition is actually a decrease.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure whether Saruman needs the horse myself.
I I think if you've got the points, do it. But I'll go on to why in a minute.
But yeah, in terms of stats, he's got the standard wizardly stat line. His fight 5, his strength 4. He's only defense 5, which makes him a little squishy. But he's got great courage, great intelligence. He's got 3 might. He's got 6 will, and he's got 3 fate. So he is very sort of good in that regard. He has the Staff of Power, which is good. It's a 2-handed weapon as well, which always is worth remembering.
Sure. Yep.
And he has heroic channeling, and he does have heroic defense to offset that squishiness, which is nice. He also has a Palantir, which allows him once per game to just take priority. Always a useful rule. And he has 2 special rules. He has the Voice of Curanir, which gives him a 12-inch stand fast, which is great, especially on a hero of legend. And it also affects heroes, which is very good.
Very good. So it means when you hit that 66% break point, which takes a while, if Saruman's still alive, you're just probably not breaking, because he's also got Courage 3+. So you need Snake Eyes to fail, and he's got 6 will and 1 free a turn. So he probably can't fail a Courage check unless he's getting a -1 from somewhere or his staff's gone. So as long as he's still alive, and 12-inch, so 24-inch bubble, as it were. As long as he's roughly in the middle of the board, your army's basically not breaking, which is not to be
But
overlooked.
it's kind of funny in the sense of your army is kind of not about breaking anyway. So it just doubles down. So that, again, it's kind of a bit like the hatred thing. It's sort of a win more in the sense of, or not lose so much, maybe. But like you won't break, basically, if you play it right. The second rule he has is a change from the previous edition. He now has a passive rule, which is called Saruman's Seat, which at the start of the game, you choose an enemy hero, and that hero will suffer a -1 penalty on all resist tests. A natural 6 is
very
6,
cool.
but that's a stupidly good rule. Whether it is as good as the previous edition's rule,
he used to have Lord of the Astari, which let him. It was what the Crown of Morgul was.
He just had it baked in.
Both were just a baked-in reroll to casting, which I think is very good, because he's got a few 3-up, 4-up spells, and the ability previously to just say, I'm just going to spend my 1 free point of will a turn to do a transfix or a compel, and I get a reroll on it, so it's probably going to go off. Is super good, whereas now you don't get that. But now you can pick out your opponent's big hitter or a monster if it's something like if they've got an eagle or something in their list, or an enemy troll or something. You could just go like, you know what, you get -1 in your resist rolls, which just
it means
pretty horrible.
There are certain heroes who are intensely resistant to magic, like someone like Aragorn is quite strong, or another wizard for that matter. Giving them a -1 on all resist tests is pretty good.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, maybe if you were up against a Gandalf, you could just go like, well, I'm making it so you have to spend more resources to resist my spells than the other way around.
It's quite strong. And so I think it's potentially good. Whether it is as good as the previous rule, I think is kind of has debate. The nice thing with the previous rule, if we get onto the magic, Saruman does have Flame Burst, but it casts on a really high cast value. But in the last edition, you could just roll your 3 dice on it and re-roll it, and maybe you'll get a 5-up. This edition, it's a bit dicier. I
think it's a good one. I think that the main thing is, for those who don't know off the top of their heads, but the main thing about Saruman's list, that magic list that always is really impressive, is the ranges. So he's got a standard-ish array of spells that a wizard would have, like Gandalf, but he has a few kind of evilly ones like Flame Burst. But it's the Compel on an 18-inch range and a Transfix on an 18-inch range, both casting on a 3-up. Terrifying Aura, sure, 3-up. A 12-inch
Yeah.
curse on a 4-up, pretty cool. Foil magic on an 18-inch again, 5-up. And then Aura of Dismay, Flame Burst, and Source of Blast all on 5-up. The Flame Burst and the Source of Blast on 12 inches. So huge threat range. I think it was true last edition, but this is where I'm going to circle back to the horse, where if you do buy him a horse, the ability to give Saruman a 28-inch threat range for his spells for the Compel and the Transfix, your two big hitters, aren't they? They're the ones that people fear. The ability to say any model within 28 inches of me at the start of the turn, I have the ability to compel or transfix, is huge. And they cast on a 3-up, which I think, I don't know if anything casts stuff on a 2-up. I think Sauron might. Gandalf the White might.
Both Galadriel and Celeborn have transfix, I think, on a 3-up.
Right. But I don't know if many people have 2-up.
Very few casters have 2-ups.
Tom Bombadil used to have a 2-up something, I can't remember what it was, but he doesn't have magic anymore in the same way. So so he's got effectively some of the best casting values in the game. So I think that's just an insane utility. The ability to say, like, Gwar here, who moves 12 inches a turn or something, and could heroic combat. You'd be like, no, I could just chase you and keep transfixing you all game. Like, I can move 20, I can threaten you within 28 inches. Probably Gwar who would probably target Saruman,
and you would stay away
quick.
From him.
Yeah, because Gwar who would just rinse him. But you know what I mean. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just basically it. And also, I mean, something like Curse, which normally is maybe a bit of a kind of niche spell, with the -1 to resist. I mean, if you cast Curse and say it's Aragorn, give him a -1 to resist. I mean, if you can tax out that fate quite quickly, that could be strong. Yeah. I mean, I think his magic is very good, basically.
Yeah, I guess he could be not flash kill because he's 3 wounds, 3 fate, but he's only defense 5, 1 attack. So if he gets into combat, he's probably not winning. And if you lose move offs and the lines kind of merge and wobble, he could just get tagged and just not be used. And he's 170 points, so you have to make sure you get.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's worth sort of saying is, unlike Gandalf, who's actually now pretty decent in combat.
He's fine. Yeah, he's good for a wizard. He's fine for
the mounted version of Radagast, either on the Eagle or on the Sleigh. He has a very bad combat potential. He's fight 5,
or the best combat hero wizard. Gandalf on the cart
in the Shire list, which is just where it is. But yeah, I mean, it's broadly. I mean, Radagast has the exact same stat line. He just has some really good options to mount on.
He has
Sebastian.
Mounts, yeah. So yeah, there's not too much. There's not too much more to say about Saruman. He's great. He has to be in the list. So it's not a bad thing to take him. It's not like a tax where you're like Denethor, where you're like, ugh, he's not great, but he's all right. He just sort of doubles down on what your list does well. He basically means you're not going to break, and he can be oppressively good with his magic. I guess if you had an enemy hero who had a lot of might to throw around, like Boromir or Aragorn, to try and challenge him, if only he had a little pal who helped him deal with that sort of thing. Who's the next hero we have to talk about?
Well, our second hero, Grima Wormtongue.
Yep. Yes.
He's
a total bastard. For those listening along,
he was a minor or an independent hero, so I just went with total bastard.
He's a total bastard. Yeah, he is absolutely.
Yeah. So our favorite traitor, he is a 25-point model.
Yep.
He has fight 2,
absolutely nuts,
strength 3, 1 attack. He has no might, no will, no fate. He has a courage of 8 up. He is as scared of things as an orc. Why would you take this guy?
Yep. Why would you spend 2 or 3 warriors worth of points?
You take him because he's got 2 rules, which are both really, really good. The first one he has is Wormtongue. which is a passive ability. You also can't turn his rules off, which is just kind of funny. But an enemy hero that is within 6 inches of Grima must spend 2 might points rather than 1 in order to declare a heroic action. This isn't for if you're doing a might modifier, but for heroic actions, for combats, for strikes, defense.
Yes. That's a really important point. If you're spending a might point to win a fight, make a 5 or 6,
No.
you don't have to spend 2 points. But for a move or a combat, which are the big two that you're going to be doing all the time, they now cost 2 might. So for a regular captain, and a lot of heroes in the game have 2 might, you basically only have 1 might now. Yeah, because you have to spend both to do 1. And even someone like Aragorn, who has a turn, he still has to spend his free and a might point in the store. So once he goes down to his 1 free a turn, he also can no longer use any actions, as long as he's in 6 inches of
Frankly,
Grima.
this ability might be worth it for 25 points alone, but obviously there's a caveat of you know,
50
it's hard
points
to get him within 6 inches of heroes because he's going to die. But your second special rule, a traitor within, means that you can deploy Grima as part of the enemy army. If you do this, you choose an enemy hero, you put him into that hero's warband, but you keep on controlling him. If he's deployed in this way, the enemy treat him as a friendly model, and they can't charge him, they can't shoot him, they can't strike him, or use special rules, or making a shooting attack in which he would be in the way. They do ignore his control zone, which is good, because that would be really, really annoying. And
that'd be horrible.
Specifically, he can be targeted with magical powers, which has caught a few people out. But it is thematic.
Yes. Yeah.
He is, defeated by Gandalf.
For sure.
But
yeah, and I think one of the changes which makes him even more powerful is last edition he couldn't move through models, so you could just ring him with your models. You could sacrifice like 3 or 4 of your warriors and just lock him in place and then run away from him. Now he can move through your models. He ignores control zones. He just goes moseying around. So there's literally no way to escape him other than if you are much faster than him. If you're an all cavalry army, you could get away from him maybe, but he'll probably catch up to you. It's horrific. It's incredibly oppressive, very thematic, but very annoying. There are some, we won't go into the details, but basically if he attacks one of your models in combat, then he's suddenly fair game and you can
or
attack him.
If Saruman dies or he charges an enemy, he can, or destroys the siege engine, which hypothetically could be worthwhile. Or if he interacts with an objective marker, then he becomes hostile essentially.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think both of these rules, I would pay 25 points for a model with one of them.
For sure. 100%. I would pay 50 points for these 2 rules. No question. 25 points for both. Amazing. Yes, he has to be deployed. You can only have him with Saruman, so effectively it makes him as a package 195 points or 200 and something if you give Saruman a horse, which is a lot of points. But I think even if Saruman doesn't do too much, as long as he's vaguely near your opponent's heroes, it just makes it such a horrible calculation of, do I even bother spending might on heroic moves and combats? Because half the time, the moves especially, you might 50% chance that you lose 2 might, unless you either have somehow regenerated might or you have so much more might than your opponent that you're fine with just burning through it. Horrible. Like you say, if you do have magic, you can get rid of them that way, but a lot of armies don't have magic, and if you do have magic, sometimes there's no offensive spells. They're just sort of
no, but you can if you have compel, which I came up against Grima with Galadriel, and she has compel, and you can compel him into combat, and then he
suddenly flips to be.
About a very funny game of him continuously running around a terrain piece with Galadriel kind of going backwards and forwards to try and get line of sight to him. But yeah,
I like.
the other thing also I think is worth pointing. Everyone's saying Legolas is oppressive. This guy is a hard counter to Legolas. You can't make a shooting attack in which
Yeah,
he would
you
be
think
in
so?
the way.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you can
Yeah,
stand him in front of Legolas. I guess
no,
Legolas could still
you
do his
can't.
one
You
shot
can't make a
because
shooting
he just
attack in
won't
which
count
he
it.
would be in the way.
But you're not in the way. If he makes his one shot
But
when there's nothing in the way,
it doesn't matter because
the one super shot.
Grima is still in the way.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Can Legolas ignore it?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, he can shoot sideways. He can only block a sort of arc. But yes, if all the enemy army are directly in front of you,
you run
yeah,
this guy around
that's
and
a good
just
point.
be like, ha 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 ha. Anyway, yeah, Grima's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bonkers, absolutely bonkers, a total bastard, like you say. I mean, how many? We went to Scarring of Cheshire earlier this year, sorry, and we went. Me and you and friend of the channel Thomas, and I luckily didn't come up against him, but you two, between the two of you, came up against
I think
Saruman and Grima.
2 or 3 of them, and I came up against 2.
Right, I think it was 4. Yeah, so maybe 4 Grimas out of you each played 6 matches, 5-6 matches. So I mean, I don't know. That was when the edition was pretty new, less than 6 months old. So maybe everyone was getting in. I don't know if it's super popular, but he was popular last edition for this very reason.
But yeah, I mean, those are your 2 named heroes. There is an extra, but he's a Legacies hero.
Yep. So we'll get back to him later. So on to the other heroes.
These guys are the bread and butter. I've actually
there we go. Uruk-Hai Captains.
Unfortunately missed out a slide for the Scout Captain, but they're quite similar between the Uruk-Hai Captain and the Scout Captain, but they're a little bit different in terms of their equipment.
Yep.
The Scout Captain is 55 points, and the Uruk-Hai Captain is 65 points, which is quite eye-wateringly more. But
yeah, because you lose the 2-hander, but you gain armor and
heavy
shield.
Armor and a shield.
Heavy armor and a shield.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of the way it works, if you look at sort of the pricing of heroes, equipment on heroes is usually valued at about 5 points. So
yeah,
he's
lost 1, so he's actually overcosted.
Yeah, but the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain doesn't have a hand weapon. He does just have a 2-handed weapon, I think. But
sure. But he's lost the 2-hander, so he's down 5 points, and the other one's gained 10 points. So,
but yeah, anyway. So the difference between them is the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain is less defensive, but has a 2-handed weapon. The Uruk-Hai Captain, though, is defense 7 with shield wall, which is just hilarious.
Oof. Oh, I guess that's the other thing. Maybe you're paying 5 points for shield wall. And yeah, again, one of the more significant changes to Isengard this edition is the armored, the captain and the regular warriors have all gained shield wall, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
So he I mean, you want him in a big block of Uruk-Hai with Uruk-Hai either side of him, behind him. Absolutely, there's nothing bad about that. So he goes to defense 8 if he's in base contact with 2 Uruk-Hai.
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to throw these guys into some pretty dicey situations and just hope you're going to win. And if you don't win, you're still on D8.
Well, you have strike.
You've got strike. You've got heroic strike. And
yep. And if you win, you've got strength 5.
But yeah,
and it's
so
5 points.
Both of the captains are good, though. I mean, the Scout Captain, again, strength 5 on a 2-handed weapon is quite transformative. Against a lot. But yeah, the Uruk-Hai Captain is really very hard to kill. I
guess the slightly sad thing is in this list, the Scout Captain doesn't become movement 8. Then he would be really tempting. If he made the Warriors, the Scouts, movement 8 as well, then he'd be very tempting for this list. It's just movement 6, sadly. So I would not be, if I was building a big list, I'd probably take a lot of Uruk-Hai Captains and then maybe 1 Scout Captain to be like, I'm going to throw him towards.
Yeah, or use him to kind of fresh through chaff. But yeah, I mean, I think that's actually something which maybe this list could be good for, because sometimes it doesn't really feel like there's a reason to take the Scouts over the armored Uruk-Hai.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's one more unit that was added with the Armies of Middle-earth book.
Oh, yep.
Who
Yep, one
is
more hero.
the classic Uruk-Hai Shaman.
Ah,
there he is with
there he
his
is.
little
What a cutie.
cute face.
Yeah, and it's the armored one, not because there is a
scout
shaman as well as.
Specifically, actually, the armor is an option, so it is you can take either the scout version, who's basically naked, or this guy who gets armor.
Oh, I see.
Doesn't get heavy armor though, which is weird, but sure.
Right, so the shaman is D4, but
exactly.
armor goes to 5. Right, fine. So it depends. You can swap the model depending which one you own.
Sure. I mean, in common with the other kind of generic shamans, like the Moria one or the Orc one, his stat line is basic Uruk-Hai, so he's only strength 4, he's only fight 4.
Yep, he's not for combat.
And also he's got a spear, which is kind of funny, because no one else in Isengard in this list has a spear. But yeah, he's got an interesting mix of spells. He's got Fury, which, whilst cool, I don't think you need in this list that much. I mean, I guess if you're facing Terror, it might be useful. Not. But you don't really need him to keep your army around.
No, that's the classic use for shamans in like Angmar or Mordor or Moria in particular. You go Fury Bubble, like quick, everyone cluster around the shaman. When we're close to breaking, at least I'll have a little core of troops that won't run away.
Yeah, he does have Blade Wrath. It's a 6-inch special cast range and a 4-up cast value. It's a nice rule. It's got some use in this list, but it sets you at strength 6 for your to wound rolls. It's a little unclear whether it's going to work with +1 to wound. But I think it would.
See why not.
So potentially, cast it on someone. They're suddenly strength 6. They got +1 to wound because maybe it's hatred, or maybe it's the scout captain.
Maybe put on the scout captain and then he's strength 6 with a 2-handed weapon and maybe hatred. That would be very funny, but it's really niche. And he's 55 points. I guess the big point is you already have Saruman by like mandate in this list. Do you need him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a very valid point for this guy. In this particular list, I'm not sure you're ever going to take him. I believe you can take them in Ugglucks and Scouts, where maybe you would.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because he's 55 points, which is the same as the scout captain. And would I take him over a scout captain? No. Absolutely not. I would take several scout captains before I took him. If for some reason I wanted just scout captains, not Uruk-Hai captains.
So then we can move on. I mean, I think he's a cool model. I like the idea. I think the other spell he has is a 12-inch transfix on a 5-up. But again, Saruman has an 18-inch transfix on a 3-up. And a 5-up cast value when you only have 3 will is just kind of, not worth it. I think Uruk-Hai Shaman maybe should have had rules a bit more like the Angmar vassal of the Witch King, Fraked, where instead of casting magic, it's like a aura. That could have been cool.
Yeah, that could be cool.
But with legacies, we got one more hero, a named hero that's come back from the dead. Vrasku. He is a hero. I think Vrasku. He's a hero of fortitude. He is quite expensive because he is 70 points, but he has an Uruk-Hai Scout Captain stat line, and he has a crossbow, which is a bit of a thing in the Isengard list. You can take crossbows. I don't think I even had that in the pro, but as a shooty hero, he has heroic accuracy. He also has heroic march, which is cool. And he has expert shot, which means he gets to take 2 shots with his crossbow.
And the addition from this edition, he's gained sharpshooter, which is makes him much scarier, I would say. He was a kind of not a fan favorite, but I saw him quite a lot last edition because he filled a nice little niche. He still had expert shot last edition, so the ability to pump out 2 crossbow shots, strength 4, hitting on a 3 with some might behind it. Now with sharpshooter, it's even better, I would say. And he's got the same thing as what I like about in our Uruk Scout list, when you give them bows and then they get into combat, they're still Uruks. So he's basically still got the Uruk Captain stat line. He's fight 5, strength 5, 2 attacks. So you're like, aha, I'll run up to this crossbow enemy hero. Oh wait, no, he's actually still quite nasty. I don't know if the rules would count that he would gain strike in the list. Just the
I only wrote Vrasku for the name, but I would have to check the legacies. I mean, if it says Vrasku Uruk-Hai Captain, maybe. But it's unlikely to get FAQ'd, right? As a legacies unit. But yeah, I mean, it's also, I mean, he has a 3-up shoot value, which is good, with 2 shots crossbow. His only disadvantage is 70 points is quite a lot for this guy, and you're
you have to be committing to taking a crossbow blob,
or
I reckon.
I suppose possibly you just don't take a crossbow blob and you have this guy instead.
Yeah, maybe just 2 shots a turn that are going to do pretty well. I have just noticed he is also intelligence 5+. He's smarter than most other Uruk-Hai. He might be the smartest one in this list, other than Saruman.
That's curious, but yeah, okay. He's a bright boy as well.
It's bright boy, unless there's a typo from us. But either way, yeah, he's basically he's a Rohan player's nightmare.
But yeah, so that is all the heroes.
That all the heroes?
Small list of heroes.
Yeah, not loads, because a few of the more recent good lists we've done have had abundance of heroes. But honestly, I don't think you need that many. I don't see a gap.
No, I mean, you've got classes, you've got
so far
decent combat heroes. I mean, they're not the best combat heroes, but they are very, very competent.
No. They're very competent for their points, and you have probably the best debuff hero in the game.
So, I guess we move on to the warriors of the Muster of Isengard list.
Surprise, surprise, who was the first warrior? It is an Uruk-Hai Scout. We know him, we love him.
Yeah, so the Uruk-Hai Scout and the Uruk-Hai Warriors, they're similar. Their stat line is almost exactly the same, apart from the defense, which is 4 on a Scout and 5 on an Uruk-Hai Warrior. The Scout can go to 5 and take a shield. They are 8 points. Uniquely, I think there's only a few other models in the game where you don't have to take any upgrades if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's the models have dictated it, basically, haven't they?
I think they're very capable, but they kind of pale in comparison to the full fat Uruk-Hai that are in this list. If you're spending 8 points, you're probably going to spend 9 points, and you're probably going to take an upgrade on this. One thing that's maybe worth taking,
I would agree.
You can take the Scouts with the Uruk-Hai bow, which is a very decent bow because it is strength 3. But yeah, I mean, you could save some points by taking these guys, but you miss out on pikes, you miss out on shield wall.
And you're only saving a point per warrior, so you'd have, even if you took a whole unit of 15, a warband of 15, you're only saving 15 points. It's not even a banner. I suppose one thing that might be of advantage is if you over a warrior with a crossbow, so an armored warrior with a crossbow is 11 points, whereas these guys with a bow are 9 points. So there you're saving 2 points a warrior. So what's that? That's 30 points if you took a warband of 15 with bows.
That would be a lot, but
that's 30 points.
I think that's worth pointing out. The other one would be maybe if you just don't take them with any upgrades because you want bodies, and you spend 8 points instead of 10 points.
Sure. Yeah. I think they could probably, it wouldn't have been the end of the world if the Uruk-Hai Scouts profile movement was just
I think
they did that for the We did that for the Army of the Dead when I don't know if they needed it.
I think that'd be
but,
interesting.
Hey, then they might have had a place in this. They would have had a place in this list because then you could have been like, oh, I've got take a little warband of scouts that are fast to get me some objectives, but they're lightly armored, and then I've got
but
anywho,
they could have faked some sort of different rule to these guys. So maybe they had like March, but just in their profile, something like that. But
who knows? But they're cool. Another sad downgrade where the old metals are beautiful compared to I say modern plastics. They're not modern at all, but the slightly newer plastics, slightly less old plastics. So if you can get your hands on some of the old metal models, they're gorgeous.
That's fair to say. But yeah, so if we move on from the scouts, we have the warriors. Pictured here, getting ready for a night in the club. The Uruk-Hai Warrior, as we say, is 1 point more than the Uruk-Hai Scout, but has Defense 5 and Shield Wall, which is really quite a boost for a single point.
Bonkers.
They have a couple of options. So both Scouts and Warriors can take banners, obviously, but the Uruk-Hai Warriors... Yeah,
which is not to be sniffed at, actually.
And also, actually, it's worth saying for the crossbow or the bow, Uruk-Hai have a 4-up shoot instead of a normal Orc's 5-up shoot.
Yeah, really makes it worse.
So it's less of a waste of points. But you're taking the Uruk-Hai, I think, for either the shields and the shield wall or the pikes.
I think so. I think just kind of glancing across their stat profile, there's basically nothing bad about them. Like their courage 7+, so they're braver than an orc. Fight 4 strength 4 is just such a good baseline that like other armies wish they could have, and then the ability to go to defense 7 now instead of 6 is huge, because the way generally you use these guys was in a giant block because of pikes. I guess one of the slight disadvantage due to the equipment change with the edition change, where you can't plaster it's must take one of the war gear options. You don't get to mix and match. The pikes can no longer have shields, so that makes your balance of war gear changing.
I think they couldn't take them slightly. I don't think you can take a shield and a pike, even in the old edition.
I definitely saw people with sticking shields to their pikes. It might be so the pikes.
I think you didn't get the armor bonus like a bow.
I can't remember.
But yes, I mean
maybe
But what you can do is you can take like 4 guys with shields and 8 guys with pikes, and you have a 4 model wide front line that gets to do 3 attacks.
Yeah, horrible. And if cavalry charge,
I mean,
now do a bonus.
That's great.
Cavalry.
Yeah, I mean, I think even actually going into that, but the pikes have a lot of utility in that rule. But yeah,
so good. I think it's a bit like Gondor. Like, I can't see much of a reason why you wouldn't just take a mass of your main warrior profile.
I wonder if the shield wall was added on these guys specifically because of elves. Because having the heavy armor, you're against an elf with a 2-hander, it didn't do anything.
Oh, I see. Oh, as in like strength 3 versus defense 6 with 2-hand. Whereas strength 3 against 7
makes a difference.
I see.
I think, as you say, it is a stat line that most other armies would be very happy with.
Yeah, and they are expensive. So they are 9, but they are effectively 10 because you have to take one of the options, one of which is a shield. So they're sword and shield, or a pike, or a crossbow. So they are minimum 10 or 11 for a crossbow. 10 points a model. 150 points for a 15-man warband. That's not. These guys are going to take ages to chew through. I think they're fairly costed. It's not a bit. We had our Morannons in Army of Gothmog, which we were saying just kind of they seem a bit expensive for what they are. These guys definitely don't
effectively. And
Yeah, it's only a point cheaper, and they are worse fight, worse defense,
And
worse courage, worse war gear options,
I think that's
and they both gain armor. Hatred man, but sure.
yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. Oh, well, the Morannons only get it in Gothmog, but yeah.
But we were looking at Gothmogs. But yes, absolutely great. I think if you took 30 of these, you're going to do great. If you took 40 of these, you're going to do great. I don't think there's a number of. I don't think there's a too many number for these guys. Beyond what you have the ability to paint and store.
Kind of grindy shield wall units. Just because of.
Because I suppose against their equal points value of. Because we were extolling the virtues of Gondor Warrior as the grindy shield wall army, the Uruk-Hai would basically in a one-on-one matchup would just slowly win because they're better. They're in the same fight, better strength, and the ability to have 3 attacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that's kind of equivalent would be Iron Hills dwarves, essentially, because they also have fight 4, strength 4, and crazy defense value.
Yeah, they can get to 8.
But I mean, what if you don't want to do the boring wall of Uruk-Hai, and instead you are like, we want to have some guys that are going to a rave? Who are the
best guys?
The bestest boys.
The
They just want to have
Berserkers.
fun.
The best is they just want to have fun. They absolutely do. They're in their rave gear. They've got their paint on for their night out. They've got their glow stick.
Yeah, one thing I
don't
think they show it in the movie, but apparently the Berserkers in the movie, Weta decided that they fill the helmet with blood before putting it on top of the guy, which is just pretty chill.
Okay. It's dedication to the bit. So 15 points. So they are double most other warrior costs from other armies.
Same price as most cavalry.
And same price as most cavalry. And they are a 1 wound, movement 6, defense 5 profile. What's good about them?
Yeah,
what
so the first thing is
points?
They have fight 5. These guys are elves.
They are higher fight value than a Rohan captain. #bitter.
So they have 5/5, which is great. They have strength 4 like most Uruk-Hai, but they also have 2 attacks, which is excellent. And they have courage 3 up, which is just hilarious to me.
It's the old courage. I do like that they have intelligence
very
8
bright.
plus, so they are dumb compared to other Uruk-Hai, but they still keep their old. They're basically the reason intelligence got invented, probably because there was a slight quirk of the old edition. Courage value was used to check for the ring, charging the ring, and it made them insanely good at hunting down like Frodo. Whereas they shouldn't be. So now they're dumb, so they're actually quite bad at that, but they are very good for terror checks and charging vehicles and opponents,
which is the one thing where I think light armor makes sense, because I think in the last edition they were defense 6, to represent the fact that they were hard to bring down from shooting, whereas now they're defense 5 and they have light armor.
I mean, it's still they're defense 5 and they're wearing a loincloth and a helmet, so they've got some
they're just
armored musculature. But yeah, they are defense 6 against shooting with the addition of light armor this game.
Yeah, and in addition, also, we'll skip over the blade for a second, but the other rule they have is oblivious to pain, which gives them a 6 up feel no pain. If you're someone that's good at rolling feel no pains, I am not really that great at rolling those. It could help, but it will always give you a little bit of hope that he might not die.
Well, and give your opponent pause for I can't count this one as dead. I've got to maybe overkill him.
I think it just plays to also
the blade.
Now have, because I think it was just a 2-handed sword before, possibly. It was a Berserker blade.
No, it was a Berserker.
Berserker
blade had its own rule.
A really good weapon. It is a hand and a half, which is nice because it means you can choose to 2-hand or not.
Well, that was great.
If you are two-handing and you win the combat, you can choose to make a single strike against every enemy model they are engaged in combat with. And I think these guys are just kind of, the dream is to charge them into a situation where they're gonna get surrounded, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna two-hand. And yeah, they can potentially win that fight at fight 5, strength 4. And especially with the changes to two-hand weapons in this edition, if you roll a 6, you're laughing basically.
Yeah, I mean, fight 5 2 attacks is better than some captains. Like I say they're expensive for warrior, but they're only 15 points. So for like a cheap captain is 45, 50 points, but usually about the 50, 60 point value. So you could get 3.5 of these for an enemy captain, and 3 of these will beat an enemy like say a Minister of Captain versus 3 of these guys. They will kill him.
Yeah, and I mean,
so
it's
fast.
The early meta when this edition came out was, and in the previous edition also, people just took Isengard armies where they literally just had berserkers and not much else.
I mean, I think it's still. I think I would be, even just for the fun of it, just be like, I've just got a bunch of nutty boys. Here's like 20 berserkers and Saruman. It's quite a lot of points. It might not win games, and
20 of them would only be.
It might hold objective games, but
I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah, that's 500 point army with Saruman for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. You could have
Saruman and Grima and 20 of them done.
But yeah.
Done.
The Uruk-Hai Berserker is great. We have two more warrior types, one from armies and one from legacies. The armies one is a curious one.
Sure.
As our channel aficionado, how do you feel about the Isengard Troll, Boris?
They're fine. They're not. They definitely do double invention, aren't they? Because they're not mentioned. I don't think they're mentioned
maybe
at Helm's Deep. Yeah, but at Helm's Deep they're not mentioned because in the book it's like a wild man, Uruk-Hai and Orc kind of medley rather than pure Uruk-Hai, and then they're certainly not in the film. But they're cool. They've got a shield. I mean, that's fairly unique. And I like that they've made them the same aesthetic. Like the helmet and the sword and a bit of the armor match the armored Uruk-Hai, which is cool.
So he is a very expensive troll. He is 100 points. But he's got the kind of Mordor troll, the better of the two troll stat lines. So he's not
got cave troll stat line.
7. But he is defense 8,
4 wounds,
which is just really great.
Defense 8, 4 wounds, because like the Mordor trolls, they've gone up a wound this edition.
Decent.
So that is a lot of wounds to chew through
on a troll.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's normal. I mean, he's got 3. He's got terror. He can throw a stone. Uniquely, he can take a spear.
Sure.
I don't know why you would, but sure.
Yeah, seems unnecessary, but for 100 points, I mean, maybe if you're going to a 1,000-point game, the ability to throw a monster into the mix, you'll have your giant infantry block, you'll have your berserkers, you'll have maybe your crossbows already. This list you can't take like the ballistas and the demolition charge, so maybe you're like a monster for some barge shenanigans, Fight 7 base is really good on monsters because a lot of that's above a lot of the Fight 6. I think a lot of even good heroes are Fight 6. Very few of 7 base, so the ability to outfight.
And I think
really good.
What's fun also a troll shield potentially. In a certain situation, you might want to shield, and then you're rolling 6 dice.
Could be funny. I mean, like if you're just like I'm up against a Fight 6 enemy hero like Aemma, and I really want to win the fight and tie him up, but so I'm going to throw, and he's out of my strike. I'm going to throw 6 dice to try and get the 6 and win the fight. Maybe, but then I'd probably still just throw 3 and be like, I'm going to try and get the 6, and then if I win, I get to strike him. But maybe, yeah, could be funny. I suppose he does get the drum, which is the only way you can get a drum in this list, and a lot of lists have lost their drum. So that is, we were saying,
he is he now a legacies?
I think he might only be in the Scouts lists, but but which book he's in, I don't know. He's either armies or legacies.
So like the Mordor Troll, you can give him a drum, which definitely I think is valuable,
which is cool.
Again,
in maybe in a big game you give him a drum, but then he loses the shields against defense 7. But then you can drum. You get a free heroic march. You get a free heroic march turn 1, and then turn 2 and 3 you drum and get your whole army like a lot further up the board.
Could be good.
That could be,
I mean, it would be an expensive,
pretty good
thing to do. This is 125 points, but I think
drum.
I love the thematics of the Isengard Troll. Whether he's really got a space in the list, I don't know. You're already paying nearly.
I think if you're playing like
Saruman,
and if you're paying for Saruman, you're going to pay for Grima, so then you're paying over 200 points if you're giving him a horse. So then you're paying 300 and something for those 3 models. But the monster does give you utility. If you give him a drum,
points, it could work.
Yeah, I could see it. Maybe 800 points plus. Maybe you could throw him in. Or you just want to put a troll in. Trolls are cool.
And Saruman,
could be fun.
But yeah,
could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, take us on to our last profile.
Berserkers, there are these guys. The Feral Uruk-Hai. These were a later addition in between the movies and the original movies and the Hobbit movies. If you can find these models, you can take these guys. I think the concept is cool, but they kind of suck. They are expensive at 13 points.
So they're 2 points
Berserker,
cheaper than an Uruk-Hai.
But they are defense 4 instead of defense 5.
But they're lower defense.
They still have
the light armor.
Hatred Man, which is hilarious because the list has Hatred Man. They have the same 6-up Feel No Pain.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like maybe if they just had Hatred, like everything, that might be more valid.
Yeah.
And that could be useful. They have the Oblivious Pain. And I just think they're inferior in every way. I mean, maybe if they were movement 8.
Well, they have 2 attacks,
like the Berserker,
because they have hand weapons. So, true, yeah, I can't see a huge bonus. Then they're also only Courage 5+, which is still good. But one of the things I think about the Berserker is good is effectively they are unbreakable unless you roll the Snake Eyes. If I'm paying 13 points, I think I'd just pay 15.
Unless you're really keen to save points. I think if these guys were movement 8 and just hated everyone, that could maybe work.
Sure, that would be cool. Or they were still 5/5, and had hatred everyone, or they were 5/5 and had some sort of Berserker rule or something, or the Feel No Pain was a 5-up. Maybe. But yeah, I think that they were hot trash last edition. I think they're slightly less bad now.
I feel it's unfair that they've got light armor. These guys are like more armored than the Scouts. I mean,
they should have armor. They should be like the slightly more armored Uruk-Hai.
It's weird. And also the models are gold dust.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty rare on the ground.
If you have the models, use them and then put one each.
Yeah, I also
buy
think
yourself a whole new army.
These guys were in Army of the White Hand, but they are not, because you can't take Berserkers in Army of the White Hand. I mean, this is going beyond the Muster of Isengard, but they were in the Army of the White Hand. But
yeah.
But yes,
I see what you.
So we come now. Hey. That's all of the profiles. That was the heroes, the warriors. It's quite a short list, really. What can you do with these things? I've kept the Gandalf image that I used in the original one because he's making a list.
Sure. He's making a list.
We did already talk about the fact that there is a battle host. And in this battle host, it is unique.
Yeah, so this is
2 boxes of infantry.
Yes, usually it's a box of well, I suppose so. The battle hosts generally seem to be a new plastic hero kit. So Aemma, Gandalf, the Witch King, and Saruman, and you get 2 boxes of warriors. But every other battle host, it's a box of infantry and a box of cavalry. This one has 2 boxes of infantry. The cavalry are obviously only sold in 6s, so actually in numbers of models you get low, because it's usually a box of 20 or 24.
So the Uruk-Hai Warriors, there are only 20 in the box, but the Scouts, there are 24. So I had a quick,
24.
Just based on that, I mean, because this is very good value. You have to have Saruman. You want to take Grima. That's great. Making some assumptions, I've done this where I've kept one of the Uruk-Hai Warriors with a shield, and hey, you convert it into an Uruk-Hai Captain. Maybe he stands on a rock. I don't know. Something like that. But with that, you can make a 500-point list out of the box, which I think none of the others you can actually just you
can with the I think the Minas Tirith one. The conversion. Oh no, sorry, you had to buy. No, our list you had to buy.
Yeah, you can do it top the walls.
Faramir.
But yes.
Yeah.
For the Isengard, you can do this at 500 points. I think the Rohan list doesn't come close.
Might do if you convert a captain, but
no. But anyway, so as a box, it's really good. Every unit in the box you can use in this list, as you've already said. You can use in. Oh, what did I just do? You can use in other lists as well. So it's really good value. I think for 500 points, I don't know what else you might do with the Muster of Isengard at this point level. We tried to just have enough of a wall of shielded Uruk-Hai and pikes.
Well, for those listening along, read it out for us.
So it's 494 points. There are 27 models in the list. There are 6 bows, 5 might as well. In the list, you have Saruman, and he's leading 12 Uruk-Hai Warriors, 6 with pikes, 6 with shields, and 6 Uruk-Hai Scouts with the Uruk-Hai bows. We've also taken Grima Wormtongue, an Uruk-Hai Captain, and 3 Uruk-Hai Warriors with shields, and 3 Uruk-Hai Warriors with pikes. For a 500-point army, I would say your sort of average model count is maybe somewhere around 30. Yeah, I mean,
say
depending
20 to 30,
on points. So this is maybe on the high models, considering you've got a Saruman in the list who's pretty expensive.
Yeah. You've near half your list is heroes and points value there, I would say. Which I guess for a 500-point list, maybe that's not that unusual, but a lot of them are in Saruman. But that is solid. And again, like you say, it's £55 box from GW, cheaper if you can find it elsewhere. This is a very cheap army. I think our Minas Tirith one was like £104 if bought at RRP. This is ludicrously cheap and very easy. Just put one of the warriors on a rock and put a scout head on him, so he has a helmet on.
It doesn't
there you
stop there with this.
There's a captain.
If you want to, you can make a 750-point list. With the box. You would have to convert some banners.
Wowzers.
And some scout captain.
That's always fun.
But you can do 750 points. The 750-point version has 46 models. It has all 8 of the bows. It has Saruman. He's on a horse because you got the points. He's leading 12. In fact, actually, he's leading the exact same thing from before. It's 18 Uruk-Hai, 6 warriors with pikes, 6 warriors with shields, and 6 scouts with bows. It's Grima. It's an Uruk-Hai captain who's got 7 Uruk-Hai warriors, 3 with shields, 4 with pikes, 2 Uruk-Hai scouts with bows, so that's your remaining 2 Uruk-Hai scouts, which are in the box, 3 Uruk-Hai scouts with shields, and then there's an Uruk-Hai scout captain. He's leading more Uruk-Hai scouts. There are 11 Uruk-Hai scouts here, 4 of which have shields, 1 with a banner, and 7 with nothing. It is solid. I think I've done this slightly the wrong way around, because the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain has to be one of the Uruk-Hai Scouts without a weapon, because the Uruk-Hai Scout Captain does not have a shield. He has a two-hander. So actually, this should be 750 points. But
either way,
this is from a single battle host box, which I think is just pretty wild.
That's great. Yeah, that's bonkers. I guess because the converting a warrior into a captain is really easy. Put them on a rock and head swap. Converting the scout captain with a two-hander is slightly more finicky. You might have to just scratch build the two-handed axe or transplant it from somewhere. Banners, do it the old school. Print out something. Find a cool thing and print it on printer paper, and then PVA it to a cocktail stick on a.
The Uruk-Hai Scouts, you have 8 of them in the box that don't have a weapon at all, and they all have like pretty kind of easy poses where they've just got one arm up with a sword or something. So you could.
Yeah, some of them have arms that are sort of sticking out as well, sort of running behind them, so you can stick something in that quite easily.
Again, the Scout Captain, you could use a bit of plastic card, maybe a rod or a matchstick, and you can make yourself a two-handed axe. Or, I mean, nothing says it has to be an axe. It's just the scene in the movie which the model is based on has the two-hander.
Who was also always makes me laugh. The two-hander is clearly he's a guy who's got overexcited and is completely ignoring a mission from Saruman to bring back the halflings unhurt. He's just about to like bisect the two halflings with a giant felling axe, and Boromir intervenes and saves them. But clearly that Uruk-Hai wasn't going to take him prisoner.
And I mean
that always makes me chuckle.
And to be fair,
that's a really solid list.
To make it more, because this isn't using every single model that is in the box. So
wow.
I think there would be 7, 8. I think it's using almost every model, but you could take out one of the Uruk-Hai Scouts that's unarmed and make yourself another Uruk-Hai Scout Captain, or another Uruk-Hai Captain with one of the warrior things.
It would be I think there would be no disadvantage to converting 2 or 3, like 2 captains, 2 scout captains in a 750 point list, and just letting them go ham. If you're feeling a bit brave with conversions, you could easily do it. I think that's impressive. That might be one of, we should keep track of
best
value of for 500, best value 500.
Well, I think
point
this is unbeatable.
Lists.
Whether it's a good list is debatable. So I've done
apart from something like the Fellowship,
I've done one more,
but one that actually has warrior profiles,
which
go for
more normal, shall we say, where you're looking at taking some of the things which are special in this list beyond what's in the box set. But again, I mean, this is a 800 point list. In fact, actually, I have just added a scout, so it could be it is.
Get out a scout.
792 points at the moment. It's got 41 models. Let's call that 42 with an extra scout. There are 9 bows in the list.
Yep.
And again, you've got Saruman on a horse. He's leading 15 Uruk-Hai, 10 with pikes, because honestly, you want more pikes. 5 with shields. He's got 1 with a banner, and he's got 2 Uruk-Hai Bezerkers. He's also got Grima. There's an Uruk-Hai Captain again. He's got 5 Uruk-Hai Warriors with shields, and he's got 4 more Bezerkers, because, you need more Bezerkers. We put Vrasku in.
I think so.
If you've got the model, obviously he's legacies, so he may be an eBay purchase. But he's got 8 fellow crossbowmen with him, and 2 more Uruk-Hai Bezerkers. This is, again, still basically the Battle Host box plus 4, 5 if you're buying Vrasku additional purchases. And potentially the banner. Maybe you get the command at this point. But you get 4 Berserkers and 4 crossbows in I think it's a £21.50 blister for both of them. So that would only be 80 odd quid for those. We're still basically at our Minas Tirith list at 800 points, but with quite a wide selection of models here.
Yeah. And it's a really solid list. You've got a decent amount of shooting, you've got some nice berserkers, you've got Saruman on the horse doing his thing, 42 models, so your break point, I mean, it says there 28.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? That's 66.
Is your break point. So that's that's a lot. Like you're gonna have basically like 10 models, just over 10 models
Mm.
left on the board before you're even broken. And that's the advantage. I will say maybe 7 might
Yeah,
in an
I think. I mean, I'm
army is
putting
a
Vrasku
bit
just because
low.
I like the idea of
That
him
might be
being
one
a
thing.
block of crossbowmen. But yeah, he is quite expensive.
Yeah.
You would, I think, you probably better place taking either a second Uruk-Hai captain instead of him, or maybe an Uruk-Hai captain and a scout captain, and rejigging this a little bit. But
Sure, sure.
I think it's a
Yeah. It's a solid. I mean, I think as a absolutely can recommend it for a beginner in terms of purchase value. Just go and get the Battle Host box if you can. And I think even as a learner army, like if this is your first foray into Middle Earth, I would probably recommend something like this, because it's not. I'm sure there is finesse, but like if you put all your Uruk-Hai in a big block in the middle of the board and put Saruman behind them,
no.
you
I
can't go
mean,
too wrong, right? Like I've never played Isengard properly, so I'm just guessing here. But like having played against them a bit, um,
yeah. I mean, I think there is
surely,
probably some debate. This is the box that you get. Uh, it's also the warrior box, has 10 pikes and 10 shields. I think there's a debate over how many shields to pikes you should have. Um,
yes. And I'm not sure I'm informed enough to make my guess. Previously, I would have said
mm,
2/3 pikes, 1/3 shields, but now maybe 50-50 because you want as many bodies
yeah,
around to proc the shield wall, because
yeah. I mean, I definitely
defense
think
7 is
there
huge.
is that question. Uh, the pikes are good. I think maybe previously, like you say, potentially you didn't even take shields at all, and you just had guys with pikes. Um, just because it was straightforward.
Yeah.
Whereas now, yeah, having the shield wall is good, and you just maybe have the pikes as a little utility. You gang them up, or potentially the pikes actually follow the
Mm-hmm.
berserkers, um, which is a fun
Mm,
little thing
yeah,
you can
that's a
do.
good point.
Just make them extra killy.
Yeah, because then you could have a berserker
Four
supported by
attacks
2
at
pikes. That's 4
5/5.
dice in the fight, right?
Um,
So you could be like, "Hey, even Aragorn,
yeah,
I've got more dice than you in the fight, and even with one model in base contact,
yeah.
and you can only
Or
kill one model.
the
Like if I
muster is
lose,
a funny list. I mean, you could basically take Saruman, a bunch of the captains, and just some pikes, and the pikes are always just following their captain, just always supporting him, like
yeah,
fight 8 and
I could see a more elite version. Yeah, a more elite version with loads of captains, loads of berserkers, and some pikes. Or I could see I was going to say chaff, but it's not a chaff even then. Like your chaff is very good. Basically, take as many warriors as possible as like your warbands will allow, and just be like, unless you've got something that's incredibly suited to killing Uruk-Hai, maybe Ents, I'm going to be impossible
exactly.
to
I mean,
remove
I
from the
think
table
it's just
quickly.
it's pretty good. Um,
Yeah, it's a bit of a theme actually. We've been running with uh, like Army of Gothmog. We said was a bit of a like their main strength was they are kind of tough, and their strength 4. Minas Tirith obviously very grindy. Yeah, Isengard very grindy. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting theme really. Maybe our next episode, we won't spoil it, but maybe will be the
well,
inverse,
I think
slightly
actually
less
sort of
grindy, more
thematically,
decisive.
obviously, the army of Gothmog and Minas Tirith are like the sort of the matchup, but Isengard almost has more in common with some of the Gondor lists than
Mm,
it has with kind of
for
others.
sure. Yeah, yeah, that's 2 big shield wall blocks marching at each other basically. If they fought,
Um, whenever we do a battle report of this, it will be very slow.
I,
Um,
I don't fancy it. Freeway battle with Isengard, Minas Tirith, and Iron Hills.
yeah, yeah, get the Iron Heels in as well. Just for
Everyone shoot.
total
Everyone
grind.
support.
Maybe
Yeah.
Easterlings, also
Oh
like
god, yeah, because they get pikes as well, don't they?
they get pikes. They get
Maybe
fun.
that'll be our battle companies. We should do Isengard, Minas Tirith, Iron Hills, and Easterlings, and everyone in the battle companies is just one. It's one. 4 people in the middle, each supported by 2, and everyone's just going, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We've
exactly.
reinvented phalanx warfare from ancient times, or the pikes from the Civil War.
Mm. But yeah, so I mean that was it. That's our Muster of Isengard.
That's the Muster of Isengard overview. I think it's really good. Like thematically, it's another one of those ones like Minas Tirith where it's like, what are the downsides? I can't really see many of the downsides. I guess points cost.
I think there's a
Certainly
points
not
cost.
monetary cost.
I think it's not as flashy as the Army of the White Hand. You miss out on some of the sort of big tech kind of pieces. I mean, in the Army of the White Hand, you can take Krebine, which you can't take in Muster. And Saruman.
Saruman gets his funny spells.
Yeah, he gets his really strong extra spells.
Which seem to be very, very popular.
So I think the Muster's been a bit less of a bogeyman than the White Hand army has been.
Yeah. Sleeper hit, perhaps. I'm always partial to. I've got 2 assault blisters in boxes in the garage. I've always been partial to. At some point, I'm going to make a Assault and Helm's Deep list and just have a double blister list. That probably isn't going to be very good, but it'd be fun. I guess you can't take that in this one. But
yeah, I think it's kind of like those 3 lists: the Army of the White Hand, the Muster, and the Assault are kind of like a spectrum. And the Army of the White Hand is like what if Isengard, but really chaffy.
Yeah.
The Muster of Isengard is kind of like what if Isengard, but Saruman's involved with like the Assault. Yep. And then the Assault on Helm's Deep is like, it's the Assault on Helm's Deep. You're going to have some top tier captains, and lots of dudes, and maybe some siege weapons and a bomb.
And a bomb. That's cool. Yeah. I'm always partial to that, but hey ho. Yeah, it's really interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We have been. These take a while to write up our show notes. We might publish them at some point. Our show notes are a groaningly large Google Docs document. If you had to sum up or rate or put the Muster of Isengard, where would you put it in terms of like how incentivized you are to collect it now, Jules? Like, because sometimes like Army of Gothmog, we reviewed, I'd already played a few games and then we reviewed it and I was basically like, I'm done with it, like, for a while. It's a cool thematic list, but like it needs help.
Well, I think I would like to. I mean, I think also we didn't really get into, but like painting wise, I think it's a nice sort of
super
list
easy
to paint. We have the battle host actually. It's not been assembled or anything, but I think it'd be a fun list just to paint up. I don't know how many Uruk-Hai Scouts we'll paint because we've already painted like 30 odd of those. But
we've got enough. And we've got some nice metal ones, so I don't think we need more plastic ones.
But I think it's a fun list. I think I would like to paint us to have a proper Isengard list because we don't yet have one.
That'd be cool. Like 40 armored warriors on the table in a pike block would be cool.
Yeah, I think on the table they look very cool. I have a real soft spot for these models.
Good point actually of everything but Saruman is a pretty old model, Saruman and Grima.
Yes.
But unlike some of the old models, they actually still hold up fine, I think. They're okay. They're a bit like Minas Tirith Warriors. They still seem fine. They're not great. There's a few mono poses going on and like repeated poses if you have a big enough army. But like they're actually still decent and again easy to paint.
Well, I think also just like the armor and weapon design of the Uruk-Hai is just super on point in the movies, and that comes across in the miniatures. The Minas Tirith in the movies are a bit kind of generic-y high fantasy armored dudes, whereas the Uruk-Hai just have some really cool touches. I mean, like their swords are just amazingly cool. The visual language of the Uruk-Hai just kind of comes across so strong. They're like super brutal. You know, they've got these like cleavers for swords. They've got these shields that have got teeth on them. I think they're just very cool. And the models, they do hold up surprisingly well.
Maybe not literally with the plastic pikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think not literally. I think the pikes are actually sort of better than the shield guys because the shield guys suffer from a few kind of like Warhammer poses where it's like shield and sword. But the pikes definitely, I think if you have them in a nice little block, they're actually an army I feel that was made for the War of the Ring. The
Oh,
version
that's
of
bad.
Middle Earth where it was kind of a rank and flank game.
Mhm.
And you could see like moving pike blocks around. Definitely would look super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But hey, maybe that's something for the future.
yeah.
But definitely not now. Good lord. I think that's a good way to put it. And probably a good way to round up. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening to that or watching it. Those of you who are watching along. We have been trying to get these out as quickly as we can in terms of get them written. It's actually a decent amount of like research and writing. It looks like we just chat rubbish for a couple hours or an hour and stuff, but we do try and at least have most of our facts straight.
We chat some
And
rubbish.
the calculations of the army lists and that sort of thing. If there are any army lists you particularly really want to see or hear us talk about, pop them in the comments, and we've got a big list, but the order is completely arbitrary based on what we feel like. It's completely sort of our own choice. So
Well, and I think this one moved up the rankings because we felt we should do evil, good, evil.
yeah, sure. We talked about Minister last turn, so sure, evil. So we'll do a good one next. Why not? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will say, or I will say, a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We now have a Patreon. It is going to be where we're not creating any exclusive content for it. Everything that we do create will be on YouTube, but if you do want to see things early or get exclusive rewards like dice, I think we're trying to figure out how to get dice. You can head over there or just join for free and you get sort of updates and that sort of thing. Discord is a really cool place to come and hang out and have a look at or have a chat with us. People come and pester us. We will be doing a Battle Companies campaign at some point, and our Discord / Patreon members rather are going to be your names will be put into our Battle Companies, all that good sort of thing. What else can people do to find us, Jules?
We do have obviously our YouTube channel. If you would subscribe and like this video and other videos, that would really help us.
Yeah.
If you're
Any others?
If you're listening to us on Spotify, come find the rest of the content that's on YouTube.
Yeah, lots more. We're only putting the talky stuff on Spotify because the battle reports wouldn't really work. Although people do listen to them, so
yeah, and we have a suite of socials. So we've got an Instagram,
all them things,
Facebook, all of that. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. I hope this was illustrative,
diverting at least.
Diverting, not too much rambling.
Yeah, we will see you in the next episode, whatever it may be. Thank you and goodbye.